Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Hundreds of bills move through the Idaho legislature each session, and it can be hard to keep track of what's really at stake. The Connector follows the legislation that's gaining traction with clear reporting and local context you can trust. Stay connected to the State House with The Connector, Idaho Daily News. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
More Idaho Matters right now. I'm Gemma Gaudette. Nestled in the lap of Idaho, Lemhi County is 4,500 miles of few people, but lots of trees and wilderness, as well as ranching and mining, fishing. There's even whitewater rafting and hiking trails, even some ghost towns thrown in. But for our Idaho 44 project, we wanted to take a closer look at those hiking trails. Thousands of miles of trails in central Idaho and southwest Montana have become overgrown or blocked by fallen trees, and the government doesn't have the resources to clean them up. So that's where the Selway-Bitterroot Church Foundation steps in. They work with the U.S. Forest Service to open up these incredible backcountry trails for everybody to enjoy. Now, their plan this year is to improve up to 80 miles of trails in Lemhi County and up to 800 miles of trails across both Idaho and Montana. So joining us now to talk more about how all of this will happen are Ryan Gelfie. He is the executive director of the Selway-Bitterroot Church Foundation, along with Saul Saylor, who sits on the foundation board of directors, and high school student Allegra Saylor, who is a volunteer for the foundation and who took part in the Youth Wilderness Expedition. I want to welcome all three of you to the show today.
Thanks, Gemma.
And Ryan, let me start the conversation with you if I could. You were on the show last year, but remind us, for folks who aren't familiar, what is the foundation? I mean, what exactly is your mission?
So our mission is to open pathways for all to discover and steward the Selway-Bitterroot and the Frank Church River of No Return and their surrounding wildlands. Like you mentioned, this is one of the largest pieces of wilderness public land in the lower 48. And it's a hard place to experience, and it's even harder place to steward. And for us, that means a lot of different things. But like you mentioned in the top of the show, maintaining trails across the landscape is a huge part of what we do and a big part of our mission.
So, Ryan, just how bad can it be on some of these trails? I mean, could you describe maybe a before and after scenario? Like, paint us a picture of what that can look like after your folks have gone in.
Yes, I mean, there's all kinds of trail maintenance problems. The one that's just the most obvious to people, let's just say after a fire, lots of trees will die. Not all of them will die, but lots fall over. So you might find a trail where there's dozens or hundreds or even thousands of trees that are blocking the trail. You might not even know it was a trail if you were looking at it. So simply being able to remove those trees from that 8-foot wide trail corridor takes a lot of human effort. We run crosscut saws in wilderness, and that takes a little more effort, but even outside of wilderness where you're using chainsaws, it's still a massive effort. But beyond that, it's really important to know that trail maintenance isn't just cutting trees out of trails. A lot of times you'll have landslides or places where heavy rain event will take out an entire section of tread, and you have to rebuild that tread where it used to be. And that can take, a group of 6 people a whole week just to do, 50-foot section of tread rebuild. It's amazing to think about how we even got all these trails in the first place, how much time and effort it really takes. But yeah, without this kind of maintenance, pretty quickly, a person can't go hike on these trails, and you certainly will have a difficult time taking stock, horses and mules across a lot of these trails. It's not someday down the road. It's, you have to do it all the time, every year, ideally.
And Allegra, you took part in the Youth Wilderness Expedition. Where did you go and how long were you there?
I did one in Montana, and that was my first one. I went to the Bitterroots. I was there for about a week, and then I did a second one in the Frank Church, and I was also there for a week. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, and what were kind of the things that you did? I mean, did you clear trails and things like that?
Yeah, we cleared trail. We cut down trees. We lopped and we got all the trails cleared, and it was mhm.
So, Saul, Allegra took part in this program, and it's specifically designed to get young people involved in this. Um, my understanding is that's how you ended up getting involved in this. So talk about not only the importance of young people volunteering, but I mean, here you are on the board of directors now.
Yeah, thanks, Gemma. Trail work like this is just, I think it goes overlooked. A lot of people out there, they're enjoying what Idaho has to offer, and you don't oftentimes think about all those saw cuts that you pass. And I was fortunate enough when I was younger to do some trail work as well, and I saw this opportunity come along for Allegra, and so passed it on to her. She applied and got accepted, thankfully. And it's been a real transformational experience for her. It's something that she's turned into a love of hers and done trail work with other people. For myself, the wilderness is a special place for me, and anything I can do to give back and support a foundation like SBFC is time well spent, in my opinion.
Ryan, you have a lot of projects planned across Idaho and Montana. Can you tell us specifically about a few of them in Lemhi County? I believe you have a week-long volunteer trail project coming up.
Yes, we do. So we'll have 8 or 9 different trail projects in Lemhi County this year. We'll have about 80 total. And so, yeah, Lemhi County has some amazing places. The Middle Fork in the main Salmon River and the Bighorn Crags inside the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness area is a highlight for people. Big granite spires, dozens of high mountain lakes, and a lot of really tough tread work that needs to get done, way more than we can get done in a single hitch. And so we'll be in and around a place called Welcome Lake with a group of about 8 volunteers and a couple of our professional leaders. And we'll be working on things like check steps and drainage features, water bars, and doing things that really improve the resiliency of the trail system in that area, which gets quite a lot of use and one of the more popular trail areas in the Frank Church. And I will say almost all or the vast majority of our projects are between 6 and 8 days long because it just takes that long to do anything meaningful when you have to drive so far and then hike so far just to get to where the work starts. So yeah, that'll be a highlight. And I think that project is probably full, but the wait list is still open.
Okay, so Ryan, how do people volunteer if this is something that they want to give their time to?
Right. So for SBFC, we have all of our volunteer projects open for adults up on our website right now at selway-bitterroot.org. And then for youth, 12 people who are 12 to 18 we have 10 youth wilderness expeditions, and those are all 6 days long throughout Idaho and Southwest Montana. The application period just went live today, actually. So now it's a weighted lottery. It's a big process, but for youth who are interested and want to apply, they're able to do that now also on our website.
And so, Allegra, for these youth programs, what would you tell other kids? Would you recommend this?
I would totally recommend it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, I thought it was super fun. And it also introduced me to a lot of like-minded people, which was really nice for me. And yeah, I think anyone should totally do it just because it gets you out there.
And Ryan, how important is it to start, with these young folks, right? Getting them involved and hopefully that they'll continue to not just do this work, but also an appreciation for this land. And I've got about a minute left with you.
Yeah, it's a huge part of our mission. When we think about opening pathways, it's not just the trails themselves, right? It's the skills, it's the opportunity to experience these places. And that's such a big part of what our youth program is about. It's about giving as many people as we can, as many young people as we can, the chance to experience the wilderness firsthand and to learn these skills and to build a lifetime love of the place and the stewardship.
Well, I want to thank all three of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to talk with us. We've been speaking with Ryan Gelfie. He is the executive director of the Selway-Bitterroot Frank Church Foundation, along with foundation board member Saul Saylor and Saul's daughter, Allegra, who is a youth volunteer. They'll be clearing up to 80 miles of National Forest System trails in Lemhi County this year. We will put some before and after pictures of trails the foundation has restored on our website, so make sure you go there, boisestatepublicradio.org. And remember, if you have a story from your county for Idaho 44 project and you want us to know about it, Send us an email, idahomatters@boisestate.edu. I'm Gemma Gaudette, and this is Idaho Matters.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, host of Fresh Air. Hey, take a break from the 24-hour news cycle with us and listen to long-form interviews with your favorite authors, actors, filmmakers, comedians, and musicians, the people making the art that nourishes us and speaks to our times. So listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.